welcome. This is Achieving Breakthroughs Tuesday lunchtime mix break with Coach Ivory Ector. Come on in. I hope you all can hear me. This is our first time going live straight off of our Achieving Breakthroughs page. I hope everyone's weekend was great. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're doing. We will, from here on out, be going live from our Facebook page. We will no longer be going live from our CEO page because we want to continue to build our audience and our following on our business page. It is very important that we have you all support us on the area in which we built for our community and our followers. So welcome Achieving Breakthrough audience. I am so glad that you all are here once again. If you had a great weekend and your Monday was awesome, come on, let me know in the comments. I am so excited that you all are here, and I'm really excited about today's empowerment session. Don't forget, share, like, because it's going to be a time where you won't be able to get these nuggets anymore. When we are building our business, we're building our brand, we are establishing our organization and our company, and we are excited that we have fellow followers like you all supporting us. So please check out our website at www.AchievingBreakthroughs.com, where you can find the different and various of services that we offer to individuals, groups, businesses, organizations, churches, ministries, and so forth. Also, follow us right here on Achieving Breakthroughs, because we will not be going live again from our CEO's page. I am not going to prolong this any longer. It is now 12:03, and I really want to get into today's topic. So today's empowerment topic for today is, I want to empower you in the area to break through. And in order for you to break through in different areas of your life, you have to purge. Somebody type that in, say, I have to purge. And so I want to empower you to purge and start purging in this time. You cannot be effective, and you will not be able to achieve any breakthroughs in your life if you do not purge yourself. Purge some things, okay? You will not achieve any form of breakthrough or anything in your life if you do not purge yourself. If you do not purge your life, if you do not purge things that need to be purged. First, I'm going to just give you a little information on what purging is. I'm really excited about this topic, because oftentimes we only hear purging, well, for me, or those that are believers, you hear that like an aspect of church, right? So when the topic came to me, I'm like, purge. And I was like, oh my God, I know what that means. Oh my goodness. So I get to empower my audience by what? Achieving breakthroughs. How can you achieve a breakthrough? By purging. And purging is to rid someone or something of an unwanted quality, condition, or feeling. It is to rid yourself or something of something unwanted, of a quality, of a condition or feeling. It is to rid yourself of an unwanted quality or condition or a feeling. It is to remove a group of people or considered, or something considered undesirable. It is you remove something from an organization, something from a place, in an abrupt or a violent way. What is purging? Purging is removing something from something or someone that is undesirable, unwanted in quality, or removing something or ridding something that gives you a certain type of feeling or puts you in a certain position. And so we want to understand that in purging ourselves, that It is a positive thing for us to do because oftentimes we have a hard time building, establishing, structuring, creating, moving forward, not being stuck, being free, being healthy, being whole, being healed, and being able to work, strive, and thrive. Oftentimes it's hard to do that when we have so much stuff around us, in us, on us, connected, and we have to allow ourselves to be purged. And in order to purge ourselves, we have to do a lot. We have to do some different things in order to even know what it is that we have to purge. So purge also means to remove something, is to get rid of something, is to eject something, is to exclude something, is to clear out something, is to evict something, is to dismiss something, is to expel something, is to release something, is to act something, dismiss, oust something, put something away. It is to eradicate. It's to dispose of. It's a removal. It's an expulsion. All of these words, it's a lot of words, but all of these words are used in the aspect of purging because we want you to understand what that means. We want you to understand what that means. Purging is a necessity. When you eat, right? When you eat, if you are eating and your body doesn't release the toxins or the food in which you eat, there is a build up, and the build up can affect the functioning of your body. And so our body has a natural waste removal. Our body has a natural function that it does to remove the excess waste, or i.e. what we drink or what we eat. It removes itself. It removes itself by way of when we go to the restroom. Sometimes we regurgitate. I know y'all don't like this because purging is not it has a good effect, but it's not a good process. It doesn't feel good. So sometimes purging can feel like us vomiting, or purging can be when we, go to the restroom, as I stated, and purging can happen in many, many, many different ways. But we want to understand that purging's purpose is to rid ourselves, or rid your body or anything of the toxicities, the negative things that are in us, or those things that are weighing us down. We want to be able to get rid of those things. And when we are not or do not pay attention to that, then it is very hard for us to move forward. It's very hard for us to establish things. It's very hard for us to stay positive. It's very hard for us to stay committed. It's very hard for us to stay focused. It's very hard for us to do the things in which we need to do in our lives when we are not in a place of purging. And so I urge you today to consider purging yourself. Remember, purging is a removal. It's to get rid of. It's to expel. It's to clear out. It's to eject. It's to exclude. It is to evict. It is to dismiss. It is to cast away. It is to eradicate. It is to dispose of. It is an expulsion. Purging is the act of removing contents from something and replacing it with something else. Purging is removing a content or contents from something and replacing it with something else. There was another definition that I saw that purging is used in pipelines. And purging is used in pipelines because it is used to filter out the contents in the pipeline that may contaminate the flow of everything else. I'm going to say that again. Purging is used in piping because there are contents that go through the pipeline and it contaminates what is going through the pipelines. And so they have to purge the pipelines to remove all contaminations. So what are you saying today? I am saying today that at Achieving Breakthroughs, we are empowering you to purge yourself, to purge areas in your life, and look at purging like they do when they're dealing with piping. Piping is done to remove content that has contaminated the material or the product or whatever that is that's flowing through that pipeline. And so we need our water. We're in Chicago, right? We get our water from Lake Michigan. And so in that pipeline, they have to purge that pipeline to remove any type of elements, any type of contents that will hinder the humans, us, that are drinking it, because it can contaminate the water. And when the water is contaminated, then it affects the functions of the body within the people that are drinking the water. And so they have to do a filtration system, and that is a purging process. So what am I saying? I am saying today that we are empowering you to take a purge. We want you to take the time and purge your life. Purge your life. Get rid of, remove, eject, exclude, dismiss, expel, clear out, bust out, remove unwanted materials, unwanted things, unwanted feelings, and unwanted conditions from your life. When you are removing these things from your lives, you are purging yourself from the contaminations of these things. Okay? When you purge yourself, you are doing like the piping system is doing. You are purging yourself of contents that has contaminated you as a person. And so when your heart is filled with contents, it contaminates how you feel, how you love, how you give, what you do. When your mind is filled with contents of negativity, of fear, of disbelief, of revenge and anger, deceit and malice, when your mind is filled with low self-esteem, low self-worth, and your works are evil, then your mind is contaminated by those thoughts. Your mind is contaminated, and your mind needs to be purged. Your mind needs to be purged from those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, those negative issues, those negative words. Your heart needs to be purged from the unforgiveness, from the resentment, from the residue, from the lack of trust, from any infidelity, any insight, any of those things. You have to purge that from your heart. Your spirit needs to be purged. Your spirit needs to be purged from suicidal thoughts, from depression, from oppression, from poverty mentality. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit has to be purged from perversion, from wickedness, from evil doings, from lustful thinking, from laziness. You understand what I'm saying? We need to purge ourselves. And in order to achieve breakthrough, there has to be a purging. A purging, simply put, is a cleansing. It is a purifying. It frees up and it clears up. So I empower you today to purge yourself. And when you purge yourself, then you are freeing yourself. You are cleaning yourself. You are purifying yourself. And you're freeing yourself so that whatever comes through you can flow through you freely. If you do not purge yourself, then what you get, it will always be filtered through what you have. I said something. If you do not purge yourself of these negative things, of these negative feelings, negative thoughts, negative inclinations, if you don't purge your heart of the hurt, of the abuse, of the misuse, you understand, of the unforgiveness, of the hate, of the vengefulness, then when you get love, it won't filter in as love. You'll think they're misusing you. You'll think they want to abuse you. When someone is coming to help you, you'll think they want to take advantage of you. Why? Because your heart is filtered with and is contaminated with so many different contents that when the real thing comes, when it comes through, it is coming through. And by the time love hits your heart, it's hit anger, resentment, bitterness, failure, disbelief, and now you can't feel the love because all of that has covered that up. Now you can't receive that you're awesome, that you're great, that you're intelligent, that you're smart, that you're beautiful, that you're handsome, that you got something going. You can't filter that in your mind, because by the time those words or that thought hit your mind, all of the contents that are in your mind has contaminated that thing. So it can't flow through and burst through because the contents have contaminated your mindset. The contents has contaminated your heart. The contents have contaminated your spirit. And let's not even just deal with that. When you have to deal with purging, you don't just want to purge your mind of the thoughts and negativity, your heart of unforgiveness, abuse, hurt, and offense, your spirit, man, of offense, perversion, and art, and all that maliceness, but you also want to purge your circle. You want to purge your circle. Your circle is your friends, your associates, your comrades, your homeboys, your homegirls, your homie lover friend. You want to purge your circle. Oftentimes, you can't get to the place you need to get to in life because of what's and who's around you. And you have to be honest. In order to achieve breakthrough in an area in your life, if you're trying to go to another level in business, if you're trying to go to another level personally, if you're trying to go to another level relationally, you got to purge your circle. That's right, I said it. I don't care if they've been with you 15 years, 5 years, 10 years. If they bring negativity to you, if they contaminate you in any way, and contamination is something that affects the operation, the natural operation of something else. Okay, so if you are contaminated by a group of negative friends, negative family members, it happens, negative church members, negative employees, negative relationships, and it doesn't matter how long it's been, if your circle is full of people that contaminate you, and now you know you didn't used to curse, and now every time you turn around it's you're cursing, and you know you didn't used to do this, but now you notice you doing that. You notice you didn't used to have a bad attitude, but now you notice I got a bad attitude. You notice that you were not a person that didn't trust, but now you insecure. And where did that come from? Nobody cheated on me. I never had this issue, but if everybody around me is insecure, then that's going to rub off on me. And now you've just been contaminated, and now you got insecurity locked on you, and now you got trust issues locked on you, and now you got a bad attitude, a bad disposition. Now you're angry. So if somebody is always angry and you're in a relationship with them, before you know it, you're going to be angry. You're going to always be frustrated, and you don't know where that came from because you're not paying attention to your circle. You got to pay attention to your circle and what your circle is speaking, because what your circle is speaking and what your circle carries has the ability to contaminate your waters. I just said it. It has the ability to contaminate your waters. What is your waters? Your waters is anything that gives life to you. Your mind is water. It gives life to you. Your heart is water. It gives life to you. Your spirit is water. It gives life to you. And anything that brings in any negative element or factor or content that prohibits the cleanliness of your water flowing or stops your water from getting to you and giving you what you need, it has contaminated you. And we don't want to be contaminated in this season. We don't want to be held back because we're contaminated. All right. We want to be able to flow, forgive, love, live, build, establish, move forward. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not saying things don't happen, but what we are saying is, in order to achieve breakthrough, there has to be a purge. Somebody say purge. Somebody type purge. There has to be a purging. Remember, there has to be a purging of your heart. There has to be a purging taking place in your mind. There has to be a purging taking place in your spirit. And there has to be a purging taking place in your circle. Yes, you gotta get rid of some people. You gotta get rid of some people. You gotta get rid of some people. Okay? You gotta move them around. Your taste buds change when you have a certain circle. In order to establish and achieve breakthroughs in your life, you have to purge your mind of the negativity. You have to purge your heart of a hurt and abuse. You have to purge your spirit. And then you have to purge your circle. You got to move people around and they got to make a whole. You cannot achieve breakthrough in relationships if you got negative people, because positive people don't want to be around negative people. You can miss the greatest opportunity of your life if your circle not filtered through. If your circle are filled with people that is contaminating you. And we want to be purged so that we can achieve breakthrough in our hearts. I don't want to hold bitterness, but my girlfriend, she's the over here, she stay bitter. So if I got a problem with my relationship and I share it with her, she doesn't have anything positive to combat that because she's contaminated. And contaminated contaminates you. Okay? Contaminate don't clean you. Contamination contaminates. Period. So you need to purge yourself of those people or those things that contaminate you. It says here, the action of keeping something harmful under control or without limits. The action or policy of preventing. Okay? So contamination is keeping something harmful under control. How do you keep harmful relationships under control? By removing them. How do you purging yourself of them? How do you keep those thoughts that are plaguing you, that got you weighed down, that have you feeling like you can't prosper, you can't move forward, you can't establish, you can't build, you're not better, you're not good, you're not worth it, you know what I'm saying, you're not worthy. How do you keep those things? How do you keep that under control? By purging your mind of that. How do you keep your spirit, you understand what I'm saying, your spirit from feeling low or depressed or oppressed or vulnerable or offended or perverted? Why? You purge yourself of those things. Remember what purging is. Purging is the removal of an unwanted item, an unwanted condition or feeling. How do I get rid of these feelings that I'm having that got me? See, what I feel has a tendency to play on what I think, and what I think has a tendency to make me behave in that manner. But if I purge myself of what I'm thinking, if I get rid of what I'm feeling, and if I filter out my spirit, then I can filter out my circle, and I can begin to achieve breakthroughs in my personal life as a person. Not only do you need to purge your mind, purge your spirit, purge your heart, purge your circle, you need to purge your vocabulary. You need to purge your vocabulary. What do I mean by that? You need to purge how you speak, how you say it, what you say, when you say it. You have to take into consideration that if I want to see better, I have to speak better. If I want to do better, I have to say better. If I want to go better and make better, I have to speak these things. I cannot speak the negative words out of my mouth. I cannot always, my answers can't always be full of cursing and tearing down and not building up and full of sarcasm or full of lustful talking or full of prideful talking or full of hate, full of envy, full of jealousy, full of pride, full of I cannot speak these things. I always got something to say, and it's never nice because I always find something wrong with something. That's all contaminated. When a person is always talking in a bad way, in a bad tone, don't know how to hold a conversation, they say negative things, it's because of what they see, and they see what they say, what they see, because their vision is contaminated as well. So if I'm seeing something, I'm going to say what I see, which is my vision is contaminated, which then contaminates what I'm saying out of my mouth. If I see something and I see it, I'm going to contaminate my mind. I'm then going to contaminate what I feel. Then I'm going to contaminate my spirit, and then I'm going to contaminate my words. And when our words are contaminated, that's death. Because anything that is contaminated by something ends up in death. When they put people in quarantine and put that little weird sign up that says do not touch, and my husband got this white suit that he got to put on at work, it's just full of stuff. Why? Because the area in which he works in has the ability to contaminate him based off of, it's hazardous to him because of the field that he works in. And so your words can be hazardous to you. They can contaminate you. You can get sick because you speak in words. You can get sick because of what you're saying out of your mouth. You can be depressed because the words you speak. You can end up an angry spirit, mean person because what you're saying out of your mouth, because you have contaminated yourself, your life, your situation based off what you said. And you cannot achieve breakthrough contaminating yourself. You cannot achieve breakthrough thinking negative about yourself. You cannot achieve breakthrough feeling things about stuff. You cannot achieve breakthrough with a darkened spirit. In order to achieve breakthrough in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, in your circle, and in your vocabulary, your language, you gotta purge yourself. Somebody type in and say, I'm ready to purge myself. You have to purge yourself. You gotta purge your circle. They ain't floating the way you float. It's time to purge them. Because if you stick with them, surely you're gonna resemble them, and you don't want to resemble them because you got somewhere you're trying to get to. You can't break through contaminated, because that's not a real breakthrough. Because if you call, oh, I broke through, and you still contaminated, then everything that you do is contaminated. Everything that you touch will be contaminated. Every place that you go, you will contaminate, which means it won't be effective. Nothing grows in contamination. Nothing flourishes in contamination. Nothing survives in contamination. Nothing lives when it's contaminated. Contamination has the ability to affect the functioning of one's body, one's life. Right now, that's what it is. And you want to purge yourself. You want to purge your mind, purge your heart, purge your spirit, purge your circle, and purge your vocabulary. The words you speak, I know you love them, but they are contaminating you. It's just the truth. And you don't even know it. We don't even know that they're contaminating us. The little simple conversation is planting seeds, and now I'm contaminated. So now you carry what they gave you over to the next relationship, and now you carry that over to now that relationship is contaminated. That relationship didn't even have a chance because you contaminated it with your mind, how you thought. You contaminated it with your heart because it depicted on your actions. You contaminated it with your words because you spoke it over it. You contaminated an area that could have been conducive for you. So in order to achieve breakthrough in our lives, we want to purge ourselves. How do we achieve breakthroughs in our mind, in our heart, in our spirit, in our circle, and in our vocabulary? What we say is by purging ourselves. What are the tools that I need to purge these particular areas? The first tool is awareness. You need to be aware that a purging needs to take place. You need to be aware that my vocabulary, meaning how I'm talking, my language, it needs to be cleaned. Because remember, purging, I'm going to go back to it, is a removal of unwanted substances that contaminates the vessel or contaminates what's being taken to the vessel. They use the pipeline as an example. You have a pipeline, and pipelines, the water that we get goes through a filtration system so that the particles that's in the water don't contaminate the water, so that the water don't contaminate the people. So if you don't filter through, you understand what I'm saying, what's going on in your mind, what somebody is speaking in your ears, what you see, what you say, who's in your circle, then they're going to have the ability and the power to contaminate you. And you're not going to be aware of it. So your first tool in purging your mind, your heart, your spirit, your circle of people, and your vocabulary, what you say, is be aware. Be aware that a purging needs to take place. What is a purging? It's simply a removal. It's a cleansing out of contents that contaminate the vessel. You're the vessel. You are the vessel. So it's awareness. The second tool is truth. Once you are aware that I got a nasty attitude, that I think negative, that I have low self-esteem, that I surround my circle of people, they very negative, or they always got something negative to say. They don't lift me up. Instead, they find the problem and they don't have solution, or they're not encouraging. Okay, that's the truth. I'm aware of it, and now I got to be honest about it. You can't make excuses for your circle. If they're contaminating you, you gotta purge them. You gotta purge them. You can't make an excuse. Well, I think like this because my mama did this to me. You gotta purge it. You're grown now. Your mama is a senior citizen. You gotta purge it. Well, I'm this way because and this is why I behave the way I behave. Purge it. What you're saying is the reason, but it is invalid for where you're trying to go. And if you're trying to go somewhere in life, your excuse can't be what happened. Your excuse is a tool of incompetence, and those who use them amounts to nothingness. You don't use your excuse as to not break through. You say this happened, and because this happened, I don't want to carry this in my mind. I don't want to carry this in my heart. I don't want to carry this in my spirit. I don't want to carry this out my mouth. I don't even want this in my circle. It annoys me because this thing happened to me, because I experienced that, because I was around that. I don't want to carry that because I know what it feels like. So I got to rid myself, which is purge myself of those things that contaminate me, vex my spirit, irritate my mind, frustrate my soul. Why? Because I don't need that around me, and I can't break through. I can't build. I can't establish. I can't move forward holding on to contaminated things. Who in their right now want to hold on to something dead? Are you kidding me? Who want to hold on to something that has the capacity to contaminate your entire being? That has the capacity to contaminate your future and your present? Why would you want your own to contaminate your present and your future? If your present is contaminated, it can spill over to your future. Come on, people. Say no contamination. Let there be a purging. So your first tool is to be aware of what needs to be purged. Your second tool is to accept it. Be honest. Yeah, I need to purge myself of that. Your third thing is to filter. So it's like when you baking a cake and you put the Swan's cake flour in the sifter, and you sifting it, and you sift it to get the lumps out. Just like with beans, if you put your beans in a strain, you separating the beans to make sure that there's no rocks in there. There's no dead beans in there, or dried up beans that cannot be used. Anything. When you clean your meat, you rinse your meat, you put salt on your meat to remove any impurities or toxicities that's in there. Why? You do all that so that you won't contaminate the food, so it won't affect your body. Why do we have those classes that teach you about cross-contamination? They tell you don't put fish with beef. Don't put raw this with raw that. Why? Because it can contaminate the food, and then you'll get sick. So if you can't cross-contaminate your food, you can't cross-contaminate your circle. You can't cross-contaminate your mind thought. You can't put those two together. Why? Because they're going to eventually contaminate you. So you have to purge. You got to cleanse that stuff. So you got to be aware. You got to have truth. You need to filter. You need to release. After you filter it, what do you do with that food that's no good? Throw it out. Garbage can. Throw it out. Anything that is contaminating or has the ability to contaminate your mind, that has the ability to contaminate your spirit, that has the ability to contaminate your heart, that has the ability to contaminate your circle, that's contaminating your vocabulary, throw it out. Throw it out. Everything that's hindering your mind from breaking through to the place that you need it to be so that you can be excellent, purge it, throw it out, release it. That's what it is. It's release. Whatever is in your heart that's got it bottled up, you purge, release it, throw it out. Okay? Whatever's in your spirit, you purge your spirit. How? Throw it away. Release it. That's the word. It's awareness is one, two. Truth is another, two. Filtering, and anything that when you get through filtering, all them particles and contents that's left in the basket, everything that's left in your mind, everything that's left at the forefront, you release it. What do you release it? You get rid of it. You release it. You throw it away. Release is throwing it away. Releasing it is letting it go. Releasing it is getting rid of it. It's doing away with it. You put it in the, and you tie it up, and you don't go to it again. Release it. And you throw it. You purge it. You just purge yourself. All that was a purging so I can break through. I can't produce if I don't break through. I can't produce if I'm contaminated. Because what I bring will be contaminated, and I'm just constantly contaminating. And the last one is replace. So I just purged my mind. I purged my heart. I purged my spirit. I purged my circle. I got rid of some people. You understand what I'm saying? I purged my spirit. I purged my words. So I monitor how many cuss words I say. I monitor if I always have something negative to say. I pay attention to, why did you say that? You didn't really have to say that. Something wrong. What's going on with you, Abby? Why is that there? Why are you seeing that like that? Why are you always saying it like that? Why do you have to say, just shut up? You know, you have to be aware and truthful. And so I purged all of that, and now I need to replace it. So I need to replace the purging of the negative thoughts from my mind, and I need to replace it with things like, man, you awesome. You great. You got this thing. You're beautiful. You're whole. You going somewhere. Then I need to replace what's going on in my heart. So I had unforgiveness. I purged unforgiveness. I purged hurt. I purged abuse. And now I have forgiveness. And now I replaced it with love. And now I replenished it with hope. And now I replenished it with peace. You understand what I'm saying? So my spirit, I was offended. I was perverted. I was and perversion is simply using or doing something out of its original content. So I purged myself of perversion. I purged myself of offense. I purged myself of all these things that was hindering my spirit, which hinders my emotional capacity and my strength. It now zaps me of my energy. And so I purge myself of that. And what I replace it with? I replace it with hope. I replace it with joy. I replace it with peace. I replace it with love. I replace it with kindness. I replace those things. And for those that follow us, that achieve breakthrough in your spiritual aspect of your life, you replace that with prayer. You replace it with the word of God. You replace that with faith. You filter your spirit with the things of God so that you are able to. And those that just follow Achieving Breakthrough and you might not believe, you still have to filter those things with the positive peace, love, joy, hope. You filter that in your spirit. I'm a forgiving person. I have to forgive them, because if I hold unforgiveness, then I contaminate myself, and it contaminates my ability to love. It contaminates my ability to give. It contaminates my ability to just be myself. So you got to replace those things. Your circle. Once you purge your circle, you don't have to go look for replacements, but be attentive and be open that the right ones will come. That's going to help feed you the positivity you need. It's going to help you move forward and build. It's going to help empower you and hold you accountable, because they're not going to always agree with you. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to say you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that. That wasn't right. That's the kind of circle you want. You need to go back and tell your husband or your wife you're sorry. You need to go back and tell your mama you was wrong. You need to go back and apologize to your auntie. You need to go back and do better on your job. You need to go and write that book. You need to go and build that business. You need to know you're not too old. You're not too old. That's the type of circle that you want around you, that can see you transitioning and see you breaking through, even when it sometimes may feel like or look like that you're not. That's the circle you want to replace those negative people with, all right? And then your vocabulary. Watch what we say. Watch how we say it. Watch when you say it. You don't always got to say something. And if it's always something that you got to point out and it's negative, you got to watch that. How do you watch that? You replace that with what? You find the good things and you say the good things. I'm not saying that we don't hold our people accountable and we don't be truthful. I'm saying if that's all you got, if people just say, oh, she or he always negative, they always got something negative to say, you got to change that. Because that means you're contaminated. There's nothing wrong with them. You're contaminated. Now, how do you change that? Now, you got to change that by looking at yourself. What are you contaminated? How did you contaminate yourself? You're probably unhappy about something. You're probably miserable. You're probably bitter. And if bitterness and miserable, loneliness, strife, and all that's in you, it's going to come out in what you say. So how do I change and replace that bitterness, resentment, loneliness, and all that? How do I change that sound from coming out of my mouth? Being content with where I'm at. Being happy with where I'm at. Knowing that although this is where I'm at, I'm still happy. I'm still good. I'm still whole. I'm still me. And what once contaminated me is purged, so it no longer hinders me. I hope this has empowered someone today to achieve breakthroughs in their mind, their heart, their spirit, and their circle and their vocabulary, what they say, by knowing that it is time to purge. There is some purging that needs to take place in your life. There is some purging that needs to take place in your life. We need to break through in our minds. We need to break through in our hearts. We need to break through in our spirit. We need to break through in our circle. We need to break through in our circle of friendships and relationships. And we need to break through in our vocabulary, what we say. And we achieve those things by awareness, being aware of it, being truthful about it, filtering it, releasing it, and replacing it. And you will surely achieve breakthrough in your life when you purge these areas of the unwanted contents that contaminate your vessel, so that you, the real you, can flow through. The real you can be seen. They can't see you because you contaminated. But when you purge yourself of these contents that have contaminated you, then people can really see you for you. Coach Ivory Ector, Achieving Breakthrough, empowering you to break through. We will no longer be going live off of our CEO's page. We will now every Tuesday be going live straight from here, Achieving Breakthroughs page. The purpose of it is to utilize our business page, because this is our business page. This is where we post events and draw our audience to the business, because this is more about the business than one person. So follow us every week, every Tuesday at 12 noon p.m. We empower you to break through. Like us on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and visit our website for any personal one-on-one sessions, group sessions, ministry sessions, work organizational sessions, and so forth and so on. We love you, and peace out.